There should be no finger pointing, because this is an attack on our democracy itself.
I'm not going to point the fingers at either party. Both party has guilt.
Breaking news now at 5 o'clock. Political leaders on both sides decrying the deadly shooting of conservative activist Charlie Kirk at a university in Utah, while also calling for cooler heads. Investigators have not officially revealed the motive behind yesterday's shooting, but it comes at a time when America is deeply divided on politics and authorities say is facing its highest threat environment in decades. If you've been on social media at all in the past 24 hours, you know tensions are high tonight. Thanks for joining us, everybody. I'm Steve Dunn. We are on your side with team coverage. But first of all, a live look at Phoenix, Arizona. That's where Vice President J.D. Vance has just landed with Charlie Kirk's casket. The vice president retrieved Kirk's remains from Utah this afternoon. The Kirk family is also on board. Vice President Vance will escort the family and Kirk's remains off the plane before departing. President Trump says he plans to attend that funeral. Now to the manhunt for the shooter. Tonight, the FBI is offering a $100,000 award for information leading to an arrest. It's believed the gunman shot Kirk from the rooftop of a nearby building, then ran into a neighborhood. Authorities recovered a rifle and ammo in the woods. They're now analyzing them for DNA or fingerprints. Authorities also say the gun and cartridges had, quote, transgendered anti-fascist writings on them. It's unclear, though, what they mean or whether the markings were meant to misdirect investigators. U.S. Marshals have also joined that search. While some leaders are calling for unity, others, including President Trump, are blaming their opposing party, stoking concerns violent and extreme political rhetoric could get even worse. Katu is on your side with team coverage tonight. K2's Vasily Varlamos is covering safety at public speaking events on Oregon college campuses. We begin, though, with K2's Christina Giardinelli, who spoke to an expert about some of the trends in society. It seems politically motivated violence has been on the rise, right, Christina?
Yeah, and experts nationwide are warning about this dangerous trend. The political science and history professor I talked to today says it's not the first time we've seen violence of this type in the U.S. He says there are some things that have proven effective in turning down the heat.
If you were watching Channel 2 on March 30th of 1981, you'll remember this.
As you know by now, President Reagan was shot today in Washington, D.C.
You'll likely also know that incidents like what we saw yesterday with the killing of conservative activist Charlie Kirk or the recent killings of 2 Minnesota Democratic lawmakers are not unique in history.
Political violence has been part of the U.S. experience since the founding. It's a country born out of revolution, after all.
Dustin Walcher, Southern Oregon University political science and history professor, draws parallels between similar events in history. He says the recent spike in political attacks are similar to what we saw with influential figures shot in the 60s. There are themes, he says, that can help understand why this is happening.
We see an uptick in political violence at times when there's great disruption, sociocultural disruption, sometimes economic disruption.
Walcher says those times of quick changes in societal norms, along with times when there's a breakdown of trust in societal structures, like elections or the judicial system, tend to produce periods of intense violence.
Institutions provide something of a glue that holds modern society together in a lot of ways.
Are there actions in history that people have taken that have brought down the heat on these types of things?
The best example I can think of was the day that Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated. Robert F. Kennedy, who was running for president, this was in 1968, had a rally in the inner city of, I think it was Indianapolis.
As the rally was taking place, the news of Martin Luther King's murder hit the airwaves, and a campaign manager informed Kennedy.
And his advisors advised him not to go on that night, that it would be dangerous, that he was putting himself in a bad situation. He rejected that advice. He got on stage. He told them, he told the audience what had happened. He talked about his brother's assassination, and he turned down the temperature. There were riots in a number of cities in the United States that evening. Indianapolis was not one of them.
Now, Walter says social media has acted as an accelerant for these types of trends, and it's a place where people often become both radicalized and polarized in their ideology. At the live desk, Cristina Giardinelli, K2 News.
Christina, thank you for that. And tonight we'll be watching closely as a candlelight vigil honoring Charlie Kirk gets underway in downtown Vancouver. Vancouver police tell K2 they're aware of that gathering. They say, as with any community gathering, their goal is to provide for the safety of the participants and the public. K2, of course, will have a crew there. We'll have a live report coming up at 6 o'clock tonight. Continuing our team coverage now, K2's on your side looking into how Oregon universities prepare for public speaking events. Vasily Varlamos joins us, and viewers may remember Portland State University in a controversial event earlier this year there. Vasily.
Yes, Steve, K2 reported on Turning Points USA affiliates Riley Gaines' public speaking event earlier on this year. The event was met with protests outside, but inside it went on without incident. Universities across Oregon say they are not changing event security protocols following the deadly shooting of Charlie Kirk at Utah University on Wednesday. A spokesperson for Portland State University shared a comprehensive set of plans the university utilizes for large events. The spokesperson says PSU works with Portland Police and the City of Portland to ensure safety before, during, and after public speaking events. The university also has a protest and expression team, or PEAT, that meets monthly to develop protocols for potentially divisive events. A university spokesperson confirmed that the PEAT team was utilized before the Riley Gaines event in May.
Because it's much easier to secure an inside venue than it is to put somebody outside. Outside is really tough, especially when you've got high ground issues.
The Riley Gaines event at Portland State University was indoors, something former Secret Service agent Ron Williams said contributed to the safety of the event. Charlie Kirk also spoke at events at Portland State and Oregon State last year. Both events ended safely. Kirk's event at Oregon State in October of last year was outdoors.
Essentially, an indoor venue erases the problem of outer perimeter high ground issues.
Oregon State did not say whether the university would change its security policy following this shooting in Utah. Meanwhile, the University of Oregon says it does not share specific security plans for large events, but says they are committed to ensuring students have a right to speak freely and safely, no matter their political ideology. Now, Southern Oregon University also said it would not be making any changes to its security protocol following the shooting in Utah, but said the political climate warrants concern. Live in Salem, Vasily Varlamos, K2 News.
All right, Vasily, thank you for that. And while college campuses have long been a place for exchanging ideas, it appears that sentiment is changing. A national survey released one day before Charlie Kirk was shot found most U.S. college students oppose controversial speakers on campus. That survey was conducted by free speech watchdog group Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression, or FIRE, and College Pulse. It found for the first time ever, most students said they're against controversial speakers on campus, both conservative and liberal. A record 1 in 3 students said some level of violence to stop a campus speech, even if only rarely, is okay. The report said rather than hearing out and responding to an ideological opponent, both liberal and conservative students are retreating from the encounter entirely. Quote, this will only harm students' ability to think critically and create rifts between them. We must champion free speech on campus as a remedy to our culture's deep polarization. The shooting death of conservative activist Charlie Kirk, the search for the suspect and the subsequent fallout is a developing story. Stay with K2 News for the very latest on all of that.